Hello, everyone, and welcome to this super special episode on the very special day of Mother's Day. I don't think a day is enough, or even a lifetime is enough, to express your gratitude, or even say thank you, or to even express your feelings towards your mother. This episode is a tribute to all the mothers out there. You know, I have been raised by an army of people. Yes, obviously, my mom gave me birth, but I was raised by my mom, my masis, and my mama. One of my masis, she is no more with me. She always used to say, एक ने तुझको जन्म दिया है, एक ने तुझको पाला, और एक कन्हैया तू किसको कहेगा मैया. And that's very true in my case. My mom was a school teacher. She would leave the house in the morning and would come back only by evening. We had a deal that I can only go out and play once she was back home. And as a kid, as a teenager, we don't value or we don't understand, right? So now today I realize that after the entire day she just wanted to see me in the evening. The way I have been pampered, the kind of love that I have got, very few people get that. One masi would feed me, one would teach me, my mom would be there, and my mama, he was there for everything else. These people are the pillars of my life. They are the strength of my life. Today, whatever I am, this human that is in front of you is because of them. I just want to say thank you. Once you get married, right, you get a whole new family, and you also get a mother who would shower more love on you than her own daughter. The way my mother-in-law has kept the entire family glued together, it's just amazing and heartwarming to see. Thank you to all of these wonderful people. We are blessed to have you in our life. In this podcast, in this episode of Mother's Day, we spoke to few other people who have shared their stories and their relation with their mothers. Go ahead and enjoy this super special, super emotional episode.
So I think being a mother is the most important change in your life, and is the most awesome feeling. Whenever the first time she called me ma, was like I can never forget that. Early morning, she wakes up and ma, ma, ma. Oh my God, that was the sweetest voice I have ever heard. So it's an awesome, awesome,
Wow.
awesome feeling. When that time she came out of me, okay, fine, but the body undergoes through so much trauma and there's so much hormonal
Right.
disbalance that you feel nothing. That emotional thing, that it's my daughter, it's my baby, that didn't come up. But there are two most remarkable feeling that I till remember day to day. The first thing is the her last kick in my belly, the last kick when she pushed and she came out. I can still feel that, and that whenever I feel that, it gives me like goosebumps. It was like awesome that she's also trying to come out. And then when she comes out, she cries. Obviously, each and every baby cry. She
Hmm.
was crying so much, but then as the doctors put her on my chest, she was calm, quiet, and she was happy with me. She got her mother and she was happy. So these two feelings made me so happy, and this was so remarkable feeling that even I was under drugs, I was under all the medicines, all the trauma, everything, but I still remember, and it was the feeling that I'll never like to forget. I will always cherish these two moments. Yes, very consciously I think about it, and Ronik, like as I became a mother, I feel like I became more attached to my mom. Being a daughter was different, but being a mom and then being a daughter is totally different. I feel how much pain, how much sacrifice she might have done to give birth or raise us. we are two sisters, just a year apart. So it's like very, like, it's like twins. A year apart doesn't count. Like, she was giving, feeding two babies at a time, changing two babies at a time. Right? Just such a lot of tasks. Like, with one baby, I am like, oh my god, it's so overwhelming. I get tired, I get pissed, frustrated. But I don't know how my mother did it. Every time I feel that I like I have to become like her. I have to be as strong as my mom. She has done an incredible job, and I can never match up to her.
Ronik, I'm so happy that you asked me this question. And I would like to correct you that I didn't have two mothers, but I had, in effect, six or seven mothers. My mother had three elder sisters, her own mother, and my father's mother. And to top it, I had an elder sister. So all these were, in effect, mothers in my life. One who prepared me for, disciplined me. One we taught to groom me for being compassionate. One who exposed me to, be adventurous. One who taught me to, respect women. One who, groomed me to respect life. So, in effect, I've been groomed by six or seven mothers in my life. So, when I left to guard the nation, as you said, to fight for the motherland or the Dhartima, it was all this training and grooming which I got from these mothers in my life, which made it so easy for me to face the oddities. And knowing that here is me, with six or seven mothers blessing me, gave me that much more courage and that much more made me more well prepared to face any challenge which I had to face in my career. And I know, knowing that all of them are waiting for me to come back, made me empowered me. And when I led my men, I ensured that not only their safety was taken care of, but mine too, but without compromising the main aim of success of the operation. While you're killing machine, trained to lead men, into action. But there comes the motherly touch of compassion, which one should not lose sight of. I think that was one big thing which you learn, being groomed by, mothers and motherly figures at home. And even when you take a risk, it is a very calculated risk that you're taking. While bravery, they say, borders to actually crossing the limit of prudence. Uh, Bravery gets inculcated in you and your grooming by your mothers, because they also take risks at every instant in their life, and those little inputs actually prepare you to take that extra risk, which is the deciding factor between a success in an operation and a no-go. So I think that is where being groomed by mothers and motherly figures really helps you when you go in for an operation.
See, it's she has been great throughout. We don't, हमें ना ऐसे टाइम वक्त नहीं मिलता कि हम अपनी माँ से जा करके अपने पेरेंट्स से जा करके बता पाए that how important you are in our lives. And probably I also do not agree. I probably disagree some fact that only Mother's Day will do it, but in general I think we should do it. So मेरी माँ का रोल बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट रहा है क्योंकि she was the one who decided कि नहीं इसको अभी यहाँ रखकर नहीं पढ़ाएंगे, कलकत्ता भेज देते हैं, बाहर जा करके पढ़ेगी. So I think it started from there when she took the sole decision, when people were like नहीं अच्छा कहाँ जाएंगी, अकेले रहेगी, because I was the only girl child. And मेरे घर में वैसा लड़का लड़कियों वाला सिस्टम नहीं था, but since I was the only girl child and my dad used to love me a lot, but she said कि नहीं, इनको जाने दो. So I mean, I still remember the first time when I went to hostel, my dad was crying, my mom wasn't. My dad was like कैसे रहेगी ऐसे में, and मैं was like रह लेगी चलो पढ़ने देना है. So I think that was her first decision, first sole decision, when she didn't care कि इनको पूछना होगा या permission लेनी होगी या advice चाहिए. And my life changed from there. When I went out to study, I was exposed to different culture. And then when I came back, I started doing journalism when people were like discouraging. उसमें उस वक्त journalism बहुत कम लोग जानते थे when I passed out as a journalist. So she's like, doesn't matter, you're doing, you're loving it, just do it. And she was a constant support, you know. At times I somehow feel that अब जब, you know, I was very frustrated. I was to come and tell her कि मम्मी नहीं हो रहा, सब लोग पूछते हैं क्या कर रही हो, समझ में नहीं आता लोगों को. And she used to say कि अरे कोई बात नहीं, छोड़ो ना, तुम करो, अपना काम करो. I know at that point of time you think कि क्या है, and instead of just saying कि ठीक है हो जाएगा, so instead of just blabbering कि ठीक है हो जाएगा, whatever, she said कि नहीं, तुम जो कर रही हो करो. And she was very headstrong at that point of time. हमें उस वक्त समझ में नहीं आया. और उसके बाद when I quit journalism, I decided to come to politics. She never said no, you know, as a parent, or she never said no to me. And also that, you know, dad wasn't around by the time dad was only around when I was in first year in college, and then he was not around, and mom was always there. So for her it was very difficult to win both the roles. But I somehow feel that, you know, she did really great. I mean, this is what I think. इसके बाद जब पॉलिटिक्स में आने का सोचा, then she never said no कि नहीं क्यों कर रहे हो, you studied this, इधर क्यों जाना है. She never disagreed. Probably she would have disliked it to an extent कि ठीक है चलो इतना पढ़ाई किया ये किया, but then she never said कि no. उसके बाद politics होते होते I became entrepreneur. And probably, you know, the whole sari idea came from her only, because I've seen her wearing different kind of sarees. And मेरी समझ जो साड़ियों को लेकर है, टेक्सटाइल को लेकर के है, क्राफ्ट को लेकर के, उसकी वजह से है. तो I give all the credit to her. कि उसकी वजह से probably I'm into more into साड़ी का business, and I understand textile better. And probably, you know, I have more infatuation towards craft than digital print and stuff. So yes, she was very important to me. She is very important to me. She has been a mentor throughout. She has struggled a lot. And you know, at times when you feel that your parents are low and they won't be able to kind of reach to an extent, and then your parents, they come out of a situation and come out with a brave face on. I think that's the best a parent can do for their kids. I mean, she would be very happy when you said that we are doing great in our lives. I think for her, first 2 years were really difficult, because she's not an outgoing person. You know, they're two kind of people who just go and talk about how they feel about life, how they feel about people, or how they are feeling right now. So she's not that type. She's someone who will come to you after 2 years and say कि उस दिन ना मुझे ऐसा लगा था. So she's not that person who speaks much about her feelings. So we were really worried about her. But then, you know, I think we were, both of my younger brother and us, both of us were, I think, the only way of surviving through, because she thought that she has got us. And you know, above everything and anything, उनके पास वो दो बच्चे थे, हमारे पास एक ही माँ थी. You know, out of two, we were left with one. So I guess कि इस वजह से वो थोड़ी strong रही, हमें पढ़ाया, हमें बड़ा किया. We were wicked only, we were like 16, 17. And so I think, yeah, I mean, उनका जो will power है बच्चों को लेकर के, आई थिंक हर माँ के अंदर वो इंस्टिंक्ट होता है, विल पावर होती है अपने बच्चों को लेकर. उनका जो विल पावर है वो बहुत स्ट्रांग था हमें लेकर के, कि नहीं हम मुझे करना है तभी ये ठीक से रह पाएंगे. सो आई थिंक यस, that's how she has managed well, I am sure.
Uh, yeah, I mean, yes, you're right. There's whole lot of responsibility which comes professionally on me, but I think as women we are made out to multitask. You know, in terms of there can be multiple tabs running in our mind, and still we have a focus on what's happening where. But of course, to make your life a little organized, and a lot of things that we need to juggle and manage. uh, I mean, I make sure, I mean, when they were very small, I made sure we had good bedtime together, where I would read out bedtime stories to them so that we could have some personal time where I can listen to what happens in their day and, have some fun element which bonds us together. Now they have grown up. One is about 14 years old, already throwing a lot of teen tantrums, and the other one is 10, who's learning the teen tantrums just before turning 13. Uh, but it's a different relationship altogether now in terms they teach me a lot of things. We discuss a lot of issues together, where they also advise me what needs to be done. So I think we're all growing up together. So that's how we spend time and bond over real issues that face us, and how do we want to, you know, take our lives and each step at a time, and how what do we do want to do in future. We are all making plans together. We make sure we have dinner time together so that there is some element where there's something common between us. So that's how I manage the time between work and my kids. There's a lot of difference, Ronik. I mean, I'm sure you will also agree. Our times there was no questions asked. We were told to do something, we were supposed to do that. Even in terms of choice of career, we had very limited choices. If you belonged to an educated family, you had only two choices in front of you. Either you want to become a doctor or you want to become an engineer. Third choice was always tum nalayak ho. So we had nothing beyond that, and we couldn't question it. But today kids are they have a more open mind. I mean, even schools encourage, I mean, one of their elements of learning is curiosity. They say question everything. So when we come back home or tell them, this is not how things need to be done, or you need to toe the line here, they will always ask you why. And you have to be prepared to give a very a knowledgeable answer, an acceptable answer, so that they make sense to what you're trying to tell them. It's not uh, just a parent child relationship. It's more of a friendlier relationship where you also respect them as little ones. I just attended one of their cultural day programs, and the theme of the program was a person is a person, how small he may be. So and they taught this in school nowadays, that even if I'm small, even if my exposure is limited, still I have a right to question, I have a right to know why. And I think this is the big difference that has happened over our upbringing and their upbringing today, where we have to be prepared to give them a scientific answer to why we want to do certain things certain way, and what will happen if it's not told. So the parenting style has definitely changed over times. And I think the generation that we are, uh, Ronik, I mean, when we were not exposed so much with the global know-how of how things work around the world. Today, internet has brought in a lot of exposure. We also know how globally children are, brought up. What are the levels of exposure of knowledge they have? How cultures work across the globe. So there is a lot of already you can say a consciousness of how things are around the world. And it's not only, we're not restricted to our own household or our own culture or family traditions. We are also now exposed to other ways of working. So that has brought about a lot of change. We have grown seeing both the sides. We've seen a side which was limited in exposure, and now that we are working and we are exposed to this global sea of knowledge, uh, I think we were the best fit to give them the right view of what our culture holds, or tradition holds, and also what we can imbibe from the Western world to make ourselves better human beings. So I think that is a big difference that has happened between our upbringing and their upbringing. There is there is a lot of realization that happens. I remember as a kid, my mom used to take me to buy vegetables. And the moment I used to step out of the house with her, I used to say, हम घर कब वापस जा रहे हैं, हम घर वापस कब जा रहे हैं? And she would be like, अभी तो हम निकले हैं, पहले हम let's. And I used to hate buying vegetables. You know, when she had that routine to do, I used to like wonder, अभी मुझे वापस जाना पड़ेगा उनके साथ. अब मैं खुद रास्ते में सब्जी देखती हूँ तो बोलती हूँ आज ये लेना है, आज वो लेना है. So there's so much, and sometimes you feel like you know, there were things that you were rebelling against when you were a teen yourself and a child, and those same things have come inside you, and you feel मैं तो अपनी माँ जैसी बनती जा रही हूँ. You know how she was, I'm becoming the same person like her. But you realize a lot of things, why she did those things, why they were important for our family. I mean, she was a housewife. I'm a working mother, and she had a different set of responsibilities. uh, you know, I mean, in terms of their exposure to outside world is very less, but in spite of that, how they you know, made us what we are today. I mean, we are not what we are just because of ourselves. We are more so because of what, how they have brought us up, how they made us fit to fight this world, to take up challenges, to grow, to you know, how they made us realize how everything is important in terms of not only studies, not only learning how to cook or do things. And I'm very proud that my mother just didn't make me an engineer, but she also ensured that I know all the other things, you know, which a girl should know. I mean, that's how we were brought up, right? लड़की को ये सारे चीज़ें आनी चाहिए, इनको खाना बनाना आना चाहिए, सिलाई बुनाई आनी चाहिए. She taught me everything, and she made sure that, you know, we were all multifaceted from all points of view. There was nothing that you know, somebody would point out कि लड़की को ये काम करना नहीं आता है. And I think today also when I see my daughter, I want her to be equipped. I mean, though they are even more modernized than what we were, I still feel that, you know, my view of a woman is, I mean, I think today in this world where, you know, feminism takes a lot of um, you know, a priority in a woman's mind, I think woman has a role to play. I mean, it's not, you can't ask for equals. You are an equal, but you still have a role to play, which is defined for you as a woman, and there's a role that a man has to play. We can only complement each other and become a beautiful, you know, partnered relationship. Otherwise, if we're just competing for that same thing, it doesn't add that essence to the relationship. So I look at my daughter and I think that, you know, she should also be equipped to play her role well, both in terms of thinking, in terms of contributing to a relationship. And similarly, when I look at my boy, my son, I want him to have empathy for a woman, you know, how he should treat a woman, uh, how he should feel that what is her contribution, and accept and acknowledge it. So these are the things that my mother has unconsciously taught me, and I think that is what you know, helps me being a better mother to my kids, of course.
मैं कभी बतलाता नहीं.
I would only say that I've been very fortunate to have been a son to my mother, and I would love to be a son all over again to the same mother, and get and learn the ways of life the way I did in my present life. And the message to the motherland is, I'm so proud of being the son of this motherland, that if I have a chance, I would like to be born again to the same, you know, motherland, where I would even perform better and take her to greater heights if I have a second chance.
In our Indian culture, we never say "I love you." I love you very much. We are not grown up like that. That we express. And I'm a kind of a person. I'm not very expressive. I'm very aloof in my feelings. I know my mom knows it very well that I don't express. But today I would definitely tell that mom, I love you very much. And each and every day I feel like I need more and more time with you. I want to spend whole my day, whole my life with you more. I need more time. I feel like my times has like before this it was all the time it was mom, but now it's so many things that I don't get sufficient time to spend with my mother. I want that back. That's the thing I want.
I think I'll say sorry to her for a lot of things. Instead of thanking her, loving her, we all love her. I mean, we can't thank them enough, but we should say sorry enough to them. I somehow feel a lot of time they call us and we're not on phone. We can't take their call, or probably in a situation where we can take the call, but we manage to skip the call. Uh, and also to all the single mothers, because all the single mothers, they have just got us, nobody else. So it's the responsibility is on us to not make them feel unwanted, you see. And I really want to say sorry to her, because there are a lot of times when I have not received her call, there are a lot of times when I have not called her. So yes, I mean, I think that's the right time, and we should say sorry to her and move on, and probably not repeat the same thing again.
So she's been a beautiful mother, but she's too strict with me. She still treats me like a child. So my message to her is, Mama, I've grown up. So and I love you a lot. I've grown up just like you, and many of my, I mean, if you see my mother, many of my relatives also tell me that I've started looking also like her. So thank you for all that you've been. You're my backbone, you're my strength. Without you, I wouldn't have been here and wouldn't have been doing all these things that I've been doing. She's been with me through thick and thin. So I really thank God for the mother that she has been.
I don't know why it is so tough for us to say I love you to our mothers. A mother and a child relation is the very first relation that you get in this world. So let me start by saying it. Ma, I love you. And there is nothing in this world that can change that, ever. I love you, I love you, I love you. All of you guys, call up your moms today. If you're with her, even best give her a hug, tell her you love her. And if you're not there, just call her up, say her I love you. And that's, believe me, that's the best Mother's Day gift that you can give to your mom. Happy Mother's Day again. Take care.